I'd like to show you my daily use of my computer and its setup. So let me just go ahead and reboot at this time. And so this is running i5 CPU with 8 gig of RAM with the 500 gig of SSD internally. I only have one hard drive, and then as it boots, you're gonna see the menu here. So I have a primary boot is a Linux Mint LMDE Debian Edition, and then underneath that I have 5 different PuppyLinux, so I can choose any of them. And then let me just show you the primary Linux Mint. And you'll see that this is running a tiling window manager, not the default cinnamon window manager. So let me just log in. And then wallpaper should look similar with if you're using a Linux Mint. But everything else is very different in that if I just go ahead and start my applications in what I prefer is when I start almost all of my distros, I use a tiling window manager, bspwm. So I have set up similarly in Linux Mint also that you can see that the workspace 1 is running a obviously Firefox, and then I can go to different tabs very easily with a keyboard and even go backwards. And then I can just go down to the with all this keyboard you can go down and up and so on, but unfortunately, you do have to use mouse, at least in YouTube, to pick the one that you want to see. And for example, and then you can hear the. So you can. I'll just stop it, and then I can just close it, or we'll just go to the next workspace with the application open, which is. Workspace 2, you can see that there's 3 different rocks filer, so I can always switch the positions around, for example, and then put it on the right side and left, bottom. So it makes it very easy to go ahead and copy things across. For example, I can just go ahead and copy over here, and I just moved it actually, and I should just move it back. So it makes it very easy as far as copying things, and then I can certainly go to use my keyboard and could go down to any of the folders. And then just go back to the, and then I can go to the next is the Genie on Workspace 5, and I have it automatically, I have it configured, so it goes to the workspace with the application open, and then I can certainly go to the file that I want to edit, for example, and go to bash aliases and click, and then I can edit whatever I want. So that's how basically I have it set up as far as tiling window manager in Linux Mint. So let me just show you the Deadbeef, which is a music player. So, and shuffle, and then I want to go to the next music, and we'll make it to go to the next playlist prior to going up. So I can do lots just with a keyboard, and I'll just close it with F4. So that's a brief look at Linux Mint. bspwm setup that I use. And let me just log back out, and then let me show you the next is all the PuppyLinux stuff. And then the most I use CE4 bspwp 64 CE4 the most, and let's go ahead and click into it. I find Linux Mint Edition and the PuppyLinux bspwm is overall very similar. Puppy does tend to be slightly faster, but Linux Mint bspwm I think is slightly fancier in appearance. So this is what PuppyLinux CE4 looks like, and let me just again start my applications. This is obviously bspwm, tiling window manager, and then last time I logged off of Firefox without it was in the midst of caching, so we'll just go ahead and restart it again. At least the tab pages are concerned, and similarly there is a email I have. Okay, so, and I can close individually, or I can close browser. Again, it's Firefox, and then I can start the deadbeef again. And then keyboard ALT down arrow will reduce the volume of the sound. ALT up makes it louder again. We'll just mute it for now, and then we'll just LibreOffice again, and we'll go to the writer document. And then I can certainly go back quickly to a JWM rather than tiling window manager. So let me just show you Control ALT and backspace will get you out, and then here you can just XWin JWM, which is the default window manager in all PuppyLinux. So, and here, although it looks similar, this is actually a JWM window manager. Let me just prove it with the applications again. So, similarly as in bspwm, the Firefox opens in one, and in Workspace 2, however, because it's not a tiling window manager, it opens very differently. But it works very similarly as far as the function. And then what I can start other programs here by firing up Rofi. Since the this is JWM, you can certainly start getting the menu with the JWM, but this is not available in bspwm tiling window manager. Then I have to use the Rofi 2 as a launcher. So we'll just go ahead and sign out again and get back into bspwm, XWin, bspwm. Now we're back into tiling window manager in bspwp. So I'm very fond of bspwm, so I can work a little faster than the JWM window manager because of my extensive preference of keyboard use. Here, so there's no JWM window, the menu system, so it's pretty much Rofi. So, and then I can go ahead and ALTO. And then I have only one internal hard drive, but I have partitioned it appropriately. So this SDA6, for example, has all my files, music files and photos and documents and so on. SDA5 partition is purely used for different Puppy ISOs with save folders. All the save folders are saved here. And this is where I have a PuppyLinux files that I need to boot. Different ISOs here, and this is where the linuxmint is with the bspwm and a default cinnamon window here. And this is the bootloader, which is mainly from the linuxmint with addition of configuring it for different PuppyLinux. So let me just go ahead and reboot again and then show you the other PuppyLinux that indeed it works. So next one I'll show you is Bionic Pup 64 PuppyLinux. And again, it's running bspwm, but you can easily log out, and then xwin jwm will get you back into the default jwm, but this is a bspwm. So let me just start my applications that I prefer to start with. And so it's pretty much the same. So clearly this is a tiling window manager. And one thing I have noticed, although setup is exactly the same in Bionic Pup, whenever I start a new application, for example, terminal emulator, it always starts on the left. But all the other bspwm and PuppyLinux, it starts on the right. But that can easily be rectified if you want to just move it to the right, for example, and move it down and so on. So, but that's one of the things that I noticed. Let me just close all the applications quickly, and then we can just go ahead and start the dead beef. So we'll just go ahead and stop it, and then reboot, and then the oldest PuppyLinux I have on my system is the one that I'll show you, XP Xenial Pup 64, which is here. And then we'll log into it. And this is the only one that does not have bspwm tiling window manager, because it's not available in a Puppy package manager. So I just use this just if I want to just look closely into a JWM configuration in old Xenial Pup 64. So it works very similarly. And then we can go ahead and start the, I need to configure the Puppy, the dead beef slightly more on this. So I'll do that after I finish my video. But again, this does not have a tiling window manager installed because it's not available in Xenial Pup. I hope I've given you some idea of how I set my a Linux setup with the Linux Mint LMDE as a primary, although I can easily choose PuppyLinux distribution, and I have 5 of them that I have installed on my machine. Again, my personal favorite is CE4, Forza Pup 64 CE4, which